Hello and welcome to United Report. This is your home for all the latest Manchester United news, match updates, transfer stories, and in-depth analysis. Stay connected and never miss a moment. Subscribe now to stay ahead with everything happening at Old Trafford. Manchester United have been warned that they could be forced to sell Bruno Fernandes against Ruben Amorim's wishes. The Red Devils midfielder has been linked with a move away from Old Trafford this year. Real Madrid have emerged as contenders for his services, while clubs in Saudi Arabia are also keen on recruiting the Portuguese international. Former Liverpool star Stephen Warnock has warned that United could be forced to bid farewell should they fail to win the Europa League, and with it, seal a return to the Champions League. Amorim's side take on Premier League rivals Tottenham Hotspur in the final later this month. Speaking to casino apps, Warnock said, "No transfer is off limits for Manchester United, especially if they lose the Europa League final. That includes Bruno Fernandes. They will need funds, and they may see him as the lifeline to reinvest in the squad. I know there have been links to the Saudi Pro League. I'd hope he's more ambitious than that. The money he'll be on at United will be more than sufficient, but you just never know in football. United's hand may be forced by financial constraints." Amorim has already revealed his stance on a potential sale of his captain and is determined to keep him at Old Trafford. Speaking in a press conference, he said, "I think it is easy to understand that transfer speculation, not just because of the numbers, but the way he plays," said Amorim in his press conference ahead of Athletic Bilbao. "He is a top player, and we need to top players. He is a leader, the captain. It is natural that people want Bruno, but we want to keep him. He is one of the top players of the world." The United boss then doubled down on those comments in a further interview with TNT Sports. Asked if Fernandes remains in his plans, he added, "That is clear. It's normal that a lot of clubs want players like Bruno, but Bruno is our captain. I will say it again, he is a player that will stay. We will do everything we can for him to stay. That's it. It's nothing new. One club wants Bruno Fernandes, but Bruno Fernandes is our player and is going to keep playing for us." Fernandes, 30, has just over 2 years remaining on his current deal at Old Trafford. The former Sporting Lisbon playmaker has enjoyed another sensational season for United this term, despite their wretched campaign. He has scored 19 goals and notched 19 assists in 54 appearances in all competitions. A record that he will no doubt be trying to improve in the Europa League final later this month. Jose Mourinho has previously claimed that the manager at Manchester United needs to be allowed to focus on coaching, not have to involve himself in other aspects of the club. The special one is among those to try and fail at Old Trafford, but believes the structure was all wrong. Mourinho led the Red Devils for just over 2 years, but ultimately couldn't make the club English champions once again, despite being hired off the back of several title-winning exploits. His best effort was second, when he worked under the Glazers hierarchy led by Ed Woodward. Things have changed massively since at Old Trafford, with Sir Jim Ratcliffe now leading the club's football operations, but fortunes are yet to change. Prior to Ineos coming on board, the likes of Mourinho and Louis van Gaal had failed to have the desired impact in Manchester, and the special one insists that too many coaches have been axed for it to be their fault, instead pointing the blame elsewhere. He previously told Fabrizio Romano, "Some of them were very good, but none of them have been successful or survived for very long. You can't blame all the coaches. The only conclusion is that the environment in which they were working didn't work." Ratcliffe has taken a hands-on role with Omar Barada coming in as CEO. Dan Ashworth has been hired and since fired as the club's sporting director. Jason Wilcox also has a senior role, and Mourinho insists whoever is at the helm needs to be allowed to focus on the players and getting results. He said, "I think the ideal scenario is when the club has a structure that allows the coach to be the coach on the pitch, in the training ground, in the dressing room. I was the coach at Inter, at Real Madrid. I was the coach in my first spell at Chelsea. I was the coach at Porto. In other clubs, I was not just the coach, and that is a very difficult environment to coach." Mourinho finished 6th in his first season with the Manchester outfit, but did deliver the Carabao Cup and the Europa League. Following that, he landed second spot, but then saw results nosedive in his third campaign. he is being linked with a sensational return to Manchester as the club weigh up whether Ruben Amorim is the right man to lead them forward. Mourinho has never been shy in laying down what he wants and appeared to take a swipe at the amount of roles he's had to take on in some of his previous jobs. In some club structures, you have to be the coach, you have to be the technical director, you have to be the communication director, he said. Then you have to be the image that defends the club, the players. That is something people realise, but at the same time, it is something the coach doesn't like. Sporting striker Victor Gyökeres could begin to look at alternative options, including a switch to Manchester United if Arsenal don't quickly back up their interest. The striker has been lighting up Lisbon with his incredible goal-scoring prowess since he made the jump from Coventry City. Under the guidance of Ruben Amorim, Gyökeres became one of the most feared goal scorers in Europe, with 95 goals in 100 appearances for the club. Following Amorim's departure, rumours are rife that Gyökeres will seek pastures new when the season comes to a close. Arsenal have been heavily with the Swede, with reports suggesting that personal terms had even been agreed with the player. David Ornstein, during a chat with NBC Sports, offered a new update on the situation. Victor Gyökeres remains in the mix for Arsenal. He is a player that Arsenal's sporting director Andrea Berta really likes, he explained. He is probably the best value for money option out there, but the time is ticking and other interest is building. We know that Ruben Amorim at Manchester United likes him, so let's see if Arsenal move on that sooner rather than later. Reports the Manchester Evening News. Ornstein hinted that United may step in if Arsenal delay any longer. But with a probable hefty price tag over £60 million, it's likely Amorim will need to secure Champions League qualification by winning the Europa League to bolster his budget. It is understood that the club's current strategy is to pursue Ipswich Town's Liam Delap in the summer transfer window. Despite Ipswich's relegation from the Premier League, Delap's strong performances have marked him out as a viable target to bolster the club's attacking lineup. Thanks to a relegation clause in his contract, Delap is expected to be available for around £30 million. Wolverhampton Wanderers talisman Matheus Cunha is also believed to be high on the list of targets for United's recruitment team. It promises to be a pivotal summer at Old Trafford after their worst ever Premier League season. On Sunday, after slumping to their 17th defeat of the season, Amorim hinted that unless he can turn it around, he should be replaced. He said, "I don't want to talk about the players. I'm talking about myself and the culture in the club and the culture in the team. I have that feeling. We need to change that. And we need to be really strong in the summer and to be brave. Because we cannot have a season like this next year. If the feeling is still here, we should give the space to different persons." United Report understands that the manager's position will be reviewed at the end of the season, with securing a place in Europe the top priority for the Old Trafford hierarchy.